Hey Paris, your caricature's coming out really nice. Really good job this week. I also like the background. There's just a few areas that could stand out a little bit more. It's a little bit complicated, so it's hard to see some of these areas through here. So I'm just wondering if you can try doing different, try doing levels. There's just it just needs contrast because you can see the black on the dark on the light works well, but then some of these images just are really hard to see. Again, yeah, I'm sure you don't want it light like that, but just as a illustration of how much more it stands out, and even the text too stand out a lot more. So if you go darker, again, it looks cool, but again, you can't see any of the text. So, just a consideration. So you might, you could also add some different layers and try some blend modes. Like, let's see, where's your thing? You could add a layer and then add, just like a certain kind of a color, not this one, but I'm going to use kind of a, I don't know, you don't have any warm colors. You could use a little bit of warm colors in this. So I'm just going to find any kind of warmish color. And, this is kind of hit or miss. You kind of really do have to, experiment with this. And then, if you try the blend modes, see, some of them don't even work. It just depends on, no. There's, you can actually get some really cool effects though. And again, another thing you could do is try moving the layer on top of it and then try some other, blend modes as well. That kind of looks cool, but it still just doesn't stand out enough. Let's see. Now, anyway, I'm just trying to give you some ideas because it's there. Just needs. I'm gonna turn that off here. Just go back to normal. I just think it needs to stand out in some places. Another suggestion, I think I made this last week, is I would suggest splitting up your text on 3 different lines. Then you can really, then you can really move it around, like in some of these that I've been showing you. And again, you can even use different fonts because then you can kind of add styles to it. Another way to make your text stand out too is to add a little bit of a stroke. So under the layer styles, you could add. I would just probably do. I don't know. You could try. I really do think if you had a little bit of red someplace, I think it would really help just because not that though, that's not the right, it'd have to be, even just a hint because everything is just on the cool palette size, so it kind of gets another thing too you could do is you could try, like an outer glow. Oh, that kind of looks cool. And again, you can just play with these, and they're really fun, actually. You just don't want to do any of this stuff, overdo it, because it starts to look real cheesy. But again, just play with what they do, because even something like that, it kind of adds a nice little touch. You could try it on, because these are the problem areas. You could try it on some of these areas, like where's that pitchfork thing? Again, it starts to look really cheap. You could also just try doing a levels on this one, and just see what, or even brightness and contrast kind of works. You just don't have as much control with it, but if you made it, and I'm going to clip it, so don't look at what it looks like on all of them. And again, so let's just see. Again, this is what the. Okay, that stands out a little bit more, right? You could just turn it off and see, right? So yeah, it does stand out a little bit more. So another thing with your caricature, overall, I just think it needs to also just be bigger because it's really cool, and this is really the main, the main highlight. I would make it really seriously about that big. Photoshop has really been slow for me lately. Maybe, well. Actually, you know what? And if you did this, you'd have this start. Then you have to deal with the contrast issues here. Maybe not quite that big, but again, hold Shift down so you don't distort the proportions. Then, though, all you need to do is then split this text up so you can fit it in garbage dump and down, and just really think of how. How you can fit the the text in. There's so many different ways to to deal with the text. And it doesn't all have to be the same size. It doesn't have to be the same font. I'm not sure if you saw, but I posted. Oh, that's the wrong week. I posted some info about DaFont. Super easy to download these fonts. And again, there's like 33 pages of these. And just make sure that they're legible. You can use more than one. Again, I wouldn't overdo any of it. Again, you just don't want to take away from your caricature. But some of these could look cool. And again, how many? 70 pages of those. So there's just tons of them. So that's those are my main suggestions. The can. This, I think I mentioned this before, could stand out a little bit more. And again, where is it? Is it this thing? Again, if you try doing a levels on that, that could bring that out because it just seems a little flat. And again, just look at the can. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I would look for what I would do is I would look for a crumpled up Coke can. Oh, whoops. Shoot, where's that? Sorry to clip this. I don't think this makes any difference at all. No, a little tiny bit. But yeah, why I would look for a crumpled up Coke one is because it's got some red in it, or even Dr. Pepper. And I think with just a little bit, even something, well, that's actually a drawing. And again, remember about going over, like that has some red in it. That could really work really good in yours because that's about the same. Let's see, where is it? Where's your piece? Yeah, that's kind of the same, same kind of angle. Another slight problem is, and you could really just work overall on maybe making the, I just really want to see the caricature more. That's just, I don't know. Yeah, I really want it to stand out more, but again, your background's pretty cool. I'm just wondering if you could find one with a little bit more negative space. The only other thing that's a possible problem, and this is just because I'm nitpicky, is that the angle of this is different from the angle of the caricature. So again, you're looking at it kind of from the side, but the background, you're looking more down at it. So, right, like you're on the ceiling looking down, and then this guy's from the side, so it's a little bit of a problem. So again, you can search for more backgrounds if you want. And again, this one too, I would do, where's that little one? I like your pipe. I really think that came out good. Move over. Oh gosh, I hate when it does this. Your rope might look really cool with a layer style, like a glow or something. I like your shadow. I think it looks nice. And it doesn't have to be ready. Just play with these. 'Cause I think sometimes the glows can kind of look kind of cool. Oh, that green kind of looks cool. And then you can play with it. I have the opacity turned really low, but you can make it smaller. Anyway, just kind of play with it. It's like this is what the last couple of weeks I was playing, because all your components are really in place, and overall your guide looks great. You can continue editing this forever. These, let me see, where is it? These little eyebrow things I think could also stand out more. And again, I usually try doing a levels first because it just can bring out. It just brings out more detail. And again, look at the detail that now, and then I just have to go back and now clip it. So again, you can see the difference now. Maybe this is a little bright on the bright side, but I think it does show a little bit more. It just stands out a little bit more. But I really love how you scaled these as well. Okay, so And I like how you're mixing it up, because these three circles really are a little bit of a problem. I would probably still even make, where's that can now? I might make the can even still smaller, just because it's, but I think but I do think if you added, yeah, I don't like it like that either. Yeah, Control Z. Whoops. Edit. Just back backward. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I hope this helps. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. It's a couple more drafts to go. Looking good.